While the guys make their modifications, Carrie is creating some feet.
Adam already has made a mold for our steel cap boot experiment in the past, and I'm going to use this because it makes a great skeleton foot.
The skeleton is made from a mix of urethane and fiberglass that dries to a realistic bone-like texture.
Oh, that's a good mold Adam made here. This one fits into here. This one.
Then they're encased in a foot-shaped mold of ballistics gelatin.
Nice.
Her feet are definitely suffering from fallen arches, but they'll do just fine.
Okay, just go stick these in the fridge till we use them.
Now, because we're all dog lovers here at MythBusters, to test the turkeys falling on small pets myth, Carrie is making fake pooches. She covers canine replica skeletons in ballistics medium. This is definitely not a breed recommended for families with small children.
This is not a normal family Christmas for me because the dogs in my family are very cute and snuggly. They're neither drippy nor frightening.
To up the realism, professional still life model Gertrude is helping out.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how the hindquarters look on a dog, and Gertrude's modeling for me because she's almost the same dog.
Maybe not quite the same. She adds some bulging eyeballs.
Yeah, this really doesn't have anything to do with the myth, but it's a flesh-eating zombie dog, so it needs some flesh-eating zombie googly eyes.
So wrong.
I started out making a dog. I love it.
Nice doggy. Grant, you might want to sleep with one eye open tonight.
Oh, you're such a good puppy. Mwah.
Carrie, you don't want to get too attached. Over at M5, it's going to be a gas. Jamie and Adam are finally ready to activate their Rube Goldberg machine, a 100-foot-long holiday miracle with 60 moving parts.
Just to make the point, I wouldn't even walk fast near a lot of this stuff, so nobody breathe on this one, all right? I can see you're really getting into the zen of this thing.
I'm thinking about it with everything I see these days.
Well, it's time to do it. We're all done.
It's the moment of truth. Let's go do it.
Okay.
It's the moment of truth, but how's it all going to work?
Pay close attention because here's exactly what's going to happen. At the top of this cone are 10 bottles of cola. At a prescribed moment, Jamie will yank on this string, releasing a Mento into each of those 10 bottles, which will then spray cola down into this funnel, down into this tube, up to this pair of wires, which will make an electrical contact, which will release this motor, sending this bowling ball spinning down. It'll stop, but the bowling ball will keep on spinning, release itself from the screw, fall down, hit all 10 Santa bowling pins, which will yank on the string, send the skiers down. The skiers going down will yank on this magnet, which will release this soda bottle, sending the party favor going going like this, boom, releasing this Mento all the way down into the basket, releasing this Mento all the way down into this basket. This ball will go down here, tunk, tunk, dunk, release the train, woo woo, all the way around into the present. Boom, the present closes, releases Mento into this bottle of soda, sending this robot, pushing the candle under the string. The candle will burn through the string will release the hammer will hit the stove. The stove, which has roast in it, will release its roast onto this seesaw, onto the dinosaur platform, jiggling this thing, releasing the two little doodads here, which will send this seesaw going this way, releasing a ball into this robot, turning him on. This robot will find his way eventually to this hand, which will boom, turn this switch on, sending the Jacob's ladder like Frankenstein's monster. That will set off this fuse. Boom, setting the cannon off. The cannon will release the pirate's hat. The pirate's hat will turn on the monkeys. The monkeys will go down the ramp, releasing the nut from this nutcracker's mouth, which I just did, releasing another Mento into this bottle of soda, sending this thing spinning, pulling a string out, which lets this foot kick the broken crutch here, sending Buster crashing into the ground, and that's what's going to happen.
Can a falling frozen turkey do this kind of damage? To find out, the team are about to test the pummel power of frozen fowls with their mechanical homemaker.
Seem about right? Pulling the turkey out of the freezer?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there? You've got to imagine like you're pulling a turkey out of the freezer, so the normal height is around 60 to 69 inches.
A force plate is put in the drop zone.
And that's going to tell us how much energy the dropping turkey is going to impart on your foot.
So, how many people is Mom catering for?
An 18 and 3/4 pound turkey. This would probably feed, I don't know, a family of 4, 2 if they're really hungry.
It's time to stop talking turkey and drop them.
Yep, good.
In 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay.
Right in the middle. Woo!
The bird dived like a boulder, but how hard did it hit?
As you can see here, the initial hit is 1,901 newtons. And that is
427.3 pounds.
wow.
Dude, that could break your foot.
Let's find out, shall we? The plate is removed, and Carrie puts her foot down.
This is very, very dangerous.
This time, they position the turkey pointing down. It might do more damage.
3, 2, 1.
That was a perfect shot.
You can feel that.
Ouch! Call your podiatrist pronto. The pointed turkey pounded the foot with more than 770 pounds of bone-crunching force.
Brutal.
That broke the middle of the foot. That's horrible.
That threw the thickest bone right here.
That was pretty thick. That's a strong part.
That was a great shot.
The reduced surface area of the pointed turkey applies more concentrated force to the foot, and therefore ups the ouch factor. With a smackdown that strong, you definitely wouldn't be doing this for a while.
Now we're going to move on to the next step in our myth, which is small pets. And I've made this ballistics gel zombie dog to illustrate our point.
Zombie dog is underfoot of the cook, prime falling scraps position.
Does anybody else feel kind of bad about this? It's kind of cute.
It's not a real dog.
I know, but I'm getting attached.
3, 2, 1.
Did you hear that sound? Did you hear that crack?
Poor little fella. A giant frozen turkey was not the treat he was hoping for. The gang checks the high speed, and it's not pretty.
That is messed up.
Still smiling. Didn't break his spirits.
Legs look like they broke, back caved. Okay, let's move on to the next one because I think it's gonna be worse.
In the name of due diligence, they put another gel pet in the danger zone.
In 3, 2, 1. Oh!
This reminds me of my Christmas.
This drop is a real eye-opener.
Oh, the head snaps around.
His little eye.
Legs snap off, the eye comes out. I was sort of like half stoked, half creeped out.
I'm all creeped out.
Our zombie dogs need urgent medical attention, so the team takes them to a veterinarian to see exactly what kind of injuries they sustained.
I dropped a turkey on my pet dog.
And then we
I
deep
can
fried
tell.
it.
I can tell.
You're just like a regular vet, and so you're probably not used to zombie dogs.
No, I'm not used to zombie dogs at all. But we'll see. We'll take a look. Mind if I hold him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's cute. There you are, little man.
The models are measured and x-rayed just like real dogs would be. Some of the other patients are not amused.
Tasty. Come on. Take a bite.
But no cigar. The reptiles just won't run.
A big part of the problem may very well be that it knows it's not a person.
How can it tell?
Yeah.
Conditions are perfect. Crocs are the most active at this time of the year, and the humid, steamy weather means they shouldn't be sluggish.
No interest whatsoever.
I'm starting to feel extremely defeated. There's a run in my stockings, and there's no crocodile running.
You know what they say about children and animals in the film industry.
You said it, Tori. Animal myths are notoriously difficult to bust. Remember skunk cleaning? Adam and Jamie set out to test a bunch of skunk smell home remedies. Only problem was, they couldn't get a skunk to kick up a stink.
Well, it doesn't work. Can we go now?
Back in Crocodile Alley, the test subjects are refusing to chase Buster's meat legs in a zigzag or any other configuration. Luckily, the MythBusters have a plan B.
We're actually going to take a quail and put it on my robot here, and this is a battle-ready combat robot. So if, unfortunately, an animal gets a hold of it in its jaws, it is built for combat, so it probably will stand up.
With its cargo of quail in place, Grant's robot sets out on its mission. Looking like the Mars rover, it parks near the edge of a pool, well within striking distance. Grant's poised to hit the accelerator at the first crocodilian quiver. But apparently, this croc doesn't feel like Meals on Wheels.
We're having a hard time getting this crocodile to come to the surface of the water, so I'm going to try to entice it with some quail, and I'm just going to drop it right in front of his nose, or her nose.
Tori ventures close and throws the bird. Nothing. Not a ripple.
I don't think he's coming out the water.
Well, the trainers here say that they're naturally secretive animals, and what's more, they're not stupid.
Yeah, he seems pretty spooked by your robot.
No response to the rig, no response to the robot. You can't say the MythBusters aren't trying.
You know, those crocodiles seem like they're slow on land, but shooting out of the water, they're lightning.
Well, actually, I've done a little bit more research, and it turns out in almost every crocodile or alligator attack, since they've been keeping records, the victim has been in or near the water.
Well, then what are the rules to avoid being chomped?
First, if there are any warning signs, don't go in the water. Second, if you fall into the water, get out as quickly as possible. And third, never ever dangle your legs or arms over the side of the boat.
I think we can handle these rules.
There's only one thing left. Plan C. That's C for crazy. Tori's gonna put his behind on the line and get a croc to chase him instead. Tori, Carrie, and Grant have been wrestling with the myth that crocodiles can't run in a zigzag. So far, they haven't been able to coax a croc into running at all. You know what they say about desperate times and desperate measures.
We've tried everything to get these crocodiles to chase the food, but apparently nothing's working. So we're going to try a different approach. We're going to try to see if we can get them to chase us out of aggression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually suit up with some protective gear, get in there, try to agitate the crocodiles, and see if they'll chase me.
Tori's going out on a limb. Let's just hope all his are still there when it's over.
So let's say one of them does get a hold of my leg. What will you do to break that hold?
I will do everything I can to ease your pain as quickly as possible.
He has a stick.
And this is actually more for
knock
you.
me out with the
Yes,
stick.
exactly. The quicker you lose consciousness, the better off it is for you. Yes.
Tori's legs will be well protected. Unfortunately, the heavy padding will also slow him down.
Wait, the safety protection caused me to fall down. Protective gear is hindering me from running away from the crocodile.
Nevertheless, he's ready for a face-to-face croc confrontation. The Johnston's crocodile is found in Australian waters. It's smaller than the Cuban croc, but fast and fiercely territorial.
So this is the first test, chasing Tori with the Johnston's crocodile.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think you can catch him.
Carrie, Grant, and Tori are attempting to beat E1, the well-trained guard dog. They're going to test several techniques to sneak past the four-legged guardian, get into the safe in the center of the compound, and then escape safely with the loot.
So the first tactic I'm going to utilize is diversion. I've got some stakes. I'm going to chuck it in one side of the yard, and then I'm going to try to make a run for it.
I see, and that's supposed to draw the dog's attention away from you.
It always works in the cartoons.
Good luck with that.
Carrie gets into the dog-proof safety suit and then gives it a test run. With Carrie about as mobile as a dog's chew toy, she adapts her heist plan.
I'm not going to be able to throw anything with this. I'm going to get one of the boys to go over to the corner and throw it. That's not cheating. Everybody's got a partner in crime.
Tori gets the plan underway by interesting Ewan in his meaty treat.
Oh, look, he likes. Oh, he's looking at it. You like you like the meat. I think you guys should probably go for it now, no? Okay, go.
Tori's tasty T-bone taunting has bought Carrie enough time to get to the safe. But then Carrie's accomplice turns nasty as Tori throws the steak into the compound.
Not at me! Not at me!
It's a poor throw, but Ewan stays focused on the meat and starts to chow down as Carrie heads for an unofficial exit on the far side of the compound. But it's locked.
Hurry, he's eating the meat!
Meanwhile, Ewan has finished the first course and goes back to Tori for more. But when Tori doesn't have another steak ready, Ewan goes to work.
Move. Oh. Okay. Call the dog. Get him. Oh, that was great. It totally worked.
Well, kinda. The delicious diversion did distract Ewan long enough to get to the safe and secure the loot. But poor planning meant that Carrie ended up as the main course.
But the necklace is somewhere inside the suit. I swear it's in here. I grabbed it.
So it's plausible to distract a guard dog with tasty treats. But without that suit, Carrie would have been breakfast.
Well done.
Next up, Grant and Tori are tackling two myths which an animal behaviorist and fan of the show suggested. And they're both based on the concept that by using body language, you can persuade the dog to leave you alone. First into the ring is Grant, and the theory is Ewan will take Grant's submissive posture as proof he's not a threat.
Oh my God, this is not working. This is not working.
I don't think it's working.
But it doesn't work. Next, Tori attempts to take alpha dog status by getting aggressive. But his top dog impression simply results in him being the dog's lunch. With the score MythBusters 1, Guard Dog 2, it's back to Adam and Jamie.
So how old is the phrase, you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Well, it's pretty old. It originated from some guy named Fitzherbert who wrote a paper on animal husbandry in 1523.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. The dogge must learn it when he is a whelpe, or else it will not be, for it is hard to make an olde dogge to stoop.
Like I said, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Jamie and Adam are testing the myth that if your car swerves off the road and into a body of water, to get out alive, you have to wait until it's completely submerged and full of water before you can open the door.
So did you know last year, AAA estimated 11,000 vehicles went off the road and into the water, and as a result of those accidents, 300 people died.
Holy cow, that's a lot of people. Yeah. I thought it was more like a freak accident.
No, apparently it's a lot more common than that.
Well, maybe we can help raise awareness a bit as to what these people are facing.
And what better way to raise awareness than to raise themselves in a car into the sky and plunge into a pool?
What the are we doing?
Remember, when Adam goes 13 feet under, he won't be wearing breathing apparatus. The paramedics are on their toes, and Adam has his escape strategy all worked out.
I'm going to try to start opening this door the moment I see the water get above my glass. Now, if the myth is true, I won't be able to open that door until the water level inside the car gets to the same point.
Deep breaths, Adam. Deep breaths. It's way too late to put on the brakes.
I couldn't stop now if I wanted to.
As the water rushes in, Adam is getting that sinking feeling.
Oh, man.
The crane chains go slack, and the car is sinking on its own. The 700-pound fake engine is taking it down nose first, exactly as it would in a real situation.
The water's up to my butt now. All right. Okay, it's coming past my waist. Now I can start to see under the water. Oh my God, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure. All right, I only have a couple more breaths here.
Adam's never this quiet. So what's going on down there? The water is leaking in from every open crevice in the car, and Adam is now fully under. He holds his breath, tugs on the door, pushes his whole weight against it, but nothing happens. Finally, he can't hold his breath any longer and signals for Jamie to pass him the regulator. When the pressure ultimately equalizes, he opens the door and swims to the surface. But it was too late.
Woo! That is intense, no matter how you slice it. I died. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's put a dampener on things. From the time the water hit Adam's knees to when he surfaced took just 1 minute and 51 seconds. But that's a long time when you're drowning.
The fact is, even though you do go vertical, you don't feel like it because the water's filling the cabin at that point. So you're kind of floating. I held my breath, I don't know, for what felt like 30 seconds, trying to push open that door, using my legs, bracing up inside the cab.
Well, you died.
Yeah, I died.
Jamie's passive observer view was a little eerie.
I'm just sitting there watching the guy drown. He's like just going nuts on that door. He's really using up his oxygen, and it didn't take him that long to run out. You don't want to be in a car when it goes down like that. It's scary.
The bottom line is Adam ran out of air before he could open the door.
That myth is confirmed. I could not open that door until the cab seemed to be full of water for a while.
Yeah, you were giving it all you could, and you just weren't able to do anything with that door until we started to level out. That's the point that you opened the door.
Yeah.
And that was quite a while.
Differential pressure can be such a downer. The starting point is to see if any of them can actually be hypnotized in the first place.
Here we have a hypnotherapist and a neurotherapist. They're going to figure out which one of us can be hypnotized. For this test, we need post-hypnotic suggestion. And if none of us can be hypnotized, we're stuck.
And first up is Tori. The plan is that Carrie and Grant will monitor his progress with the help of neurotherapist Cynthia and her EEG machine.
So what's this, like if I get a wrong answer, then you shock me?
While clinical hypnotist Seth will try to put him under her spell.
Just keep on focusing on my hand, noticing that your eyes start to feel heavy. Allow that feeling of heaviness to get more and more heavy.
She's using a common technique called progressive relaxation.
That's right. And just let a gentle wave of relaxing energy go from your head all the way down to your feet, to your toes. A gentle wave.
Carrie and Grant will know Tori's been hypnotized when the EEG machine shows his brain's electrical activity has halved.
Do you know what percentage of people are able to be hypnotized?
Easily 85%.
85?
To some degree.
Despite the odds, they're not off to a good start because even after 10 minutes, Tori's brain activity has only dropped by 5%.
I would want to see it get to about half of what it was. So if he was about 9.5, I'd like to see it at about maybe 4.
Tori's inability to relax means he's out of the race. So next up is Carrie, and the boys have high hopes for her.
I actually think that she's a reasonable candidate to be hypnotized.
Why?
I don't know, it's kind of a gut feeling.
Could you tell her to do things and she does them?
No, that's definitely not the reason why.
But their hopes are ill-founded because Carrie won't go under either.
I think I would start to get relaxed enough that I was almost in a sleep-like state, but then I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to be in a sleep-like state. I'm trying so hard. So it's almost like I couldn't let myself completely relax.
So with the score standing at 0-2, it all boils down to Grant. But will Mr. Science submit to Seth?
Deeply, deeply down. More and more relaxed.
Despite Grant's initial discomfort, after 5 minutes, things are looking good.
Like a rag doll, deeper down.
The EEG machine shows Grant's brain activity has already dropped from a level 9 to a 4.
I think he's in a deep state. I think he's more hypnotizable. There you go, look at that.
And what that means is he's just the kind of highly suggestible subject they're looking for.
Grant would make a good subject for a post-hypnotic suggestion. He's a very susceptible person.
You're the winner.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, you know what that means. Now we're gonna see if we can hypnotize you and see if we can get you to do something that you wouldn't normally do.
She's not gonna embarrass me or anything.
Don't worry, it won't be too humiliating.
Popular in the early 1900s, Charles Kellogg was a naturalist come showman with an extraordinary talent. Not only could he sing like a bird, but he could also supposedly extinguish a sensitive flame with his voice. But when the MythBusters tried to replicate this feat, they failed to douse anything. But in case the 100-year-old recording they used was of insufficient quality, they've now called in the big guns.
Hey, Roger. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Come to help us do some detective work?
Yeah.
Sound engineer Roger has brought a tone generator to replicate the full vocal range of Kellogg's bird voice.
In Kellogg's day, this was the way that you generated a precise frequency. This is what they used to tune pianos and other things, I believe. Not that I've ever done it, but these days we have things called tone generators, and so we'll be able to get any frequency that we want within any conceivable range.
But before getting into a frequency frenzy, let's get a few things straight. Sound is vibrations traveling through the air in waves. Its frequency is a measure of how many times the sound wave vibrates in 1 second. The higher the frequency, the higher the pitch. Kellogg's bird voice could supposedly reach a barely audible frequency of 14,000 hertz, something that the tone generator can match. Just like last time, Buster the conductor will have to face the music. He'll be propped up on a simple metal frame. Should he be buffeted by flying brass, he'll topple backwards. Now he just has to dress for the occasion. Hey, Buster, that suit's a nice cut.
Butt's too big.
Last time they tried this, the trombone was on its own. This time, crucially, they've got a bust of Grant puckering up behind the mouthpiece.
This is ballistics material. It's got the same consistency as human flesh, human muscle tissue. That's behind this mouthpiece. He is snugged there. That is a committed trombonist behind this mouthpiece.
To make sure that the slide can launch smoothly, Jamie takes out his handy tube of lube and goes to work. And we suddenly find out yet another startling fact about his past.
The only time I had any kind of band instrument experience was I got a hold of an old tuba, so I mounted it in the bathroom when I was a teenager, and you could sit on the toilet and everybody in the house knew what was going on.
That's unique.
Hold it. At this point, there are so many one-liners, my brain's about to explode. Stuff about movements, bum notes, crotchets, and wind. Oh, no! Oh, okay, better now. While we try to wipe from our minds the image of the Heinemann Cistern Symphony, let's take stock.
Here is a disgruntled or very ambitious trombone player. He's decided during the 1812 overture to fill his mute with explosives for the finale. He fills them with explosives, they blow up, they send his slide shooting all the way towards the conductor, boom, who falls backwards and into the audience. That's the myth.
With the bomb squad supervising, the mute is packed with black powder and loaded into the trombone bell. Places, please, everybody. We're ready to strike up the band.
Good to go. This is Mad Trombonist. Lips behind the mouthpiece revisit in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can see the slide moved a little bit.
Just a little.
I'm having the most shocking sense of deja vu.
The high speed shows the mute flying from the trombone like shiny shrapnel and bouncing off Buster's cranium. But he remains unmoved. And as for the trombone slide, well, it's still firmly attached to the instrument.
The trombonist's lips don't seem worse for wear. but I don't think they made much of a difference.
In the name of due diligence, and because they love blowing stuff up, the guys reset for a reprise. This time, Jamie doubles the amount of black powder.
That's perfect.
This mute is going to be anything but.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The music's on fire.
Now that's a finale.
In the aftermath of the second bomb trombone, it seems the MythBusters might have settled an old score with the fans.
Again, just like the last one, we can see the shockwave in the bell, and the slide didn't come off.
That's about the only thing that didn't suffer with this one, is the slide.
It didn't even knock the baton from his hand.
Which is barely hanging there.
This musical myth is looking more busted than Pete Townshend's guitar. Or is it?
I think there's one last thing we could do to put this to bed once and for all, and that would be to take our second backup trombone and solder or weld the mouthpiece so that no air can escape from it.
Okay.
Not just count on the lips, but make a complete blockage there and see if that works.
If you say so.
Try and have some enthusiasm, Jamie. Welcome back. The myth we're testing is if you're driving alongside a big rig when its tire blows, can that exploding tire kill you or specifically behead you? So, this is our big rig, suspended in midair by our 30,000-pound forklift. We are going to lower this down onto our dynamometer. I know it looks like a pickup truck, but in fact it's a dynamometer. It'll spin up to speed, spinning this wheel in the correct direction. We are going to make this tire fail by hell or high water, and that failing tire hopefully will knock Buster's head right off his body.
The reason we're using a motorcycle here is because this is a worst case scenario. Obviously on a motorcycle you're a lot more exposed. And so if a big tire like this goes off, while we could have put a car there, we figured this is the nastiest thing we can do with this particular experiment.
Things are only going to get nastier for Buster, because to blow the tire, Adam and Jamie are going with the direct approach. That's the shotgun.
We're using a standard 12-gauge shotgun with a deer slug in it. The deer slug is actually one of the heavier bullets that is available in any kind of normal civilian weapon. It'll penetrate the tire, and the big question here is whether the air inside the tire is enough to actually make it rip or do something violent other than hiss.
And what we're hoping, if everything goes really well, what'll happen is that slug will enter the tire right about here and compromise the radial. That's the steel wires that run around the perimeter of the tire. Once that radial gets compromised, if the gods are shining on us, this thing will open up like a zipper and fail in a magnificent fashion, slicing Buster's head right off.
That's the theory, but in case the impact is not enough to sever Buster's head, the team has an injury monitoring backup.
Our crash test dummy has shock watch stickers, so by looking at which one of these gets tripped, both on his head and on his torso, we'll be able to see what kind of damage he sustains during this tire accident.
With the dynamometer spinning, it's time for the magic bullet. Of course, this isn't a typical way for a truck tire to blow, but this should result in the catastrophic failure that this myth needs.
Okay, this is tire blowout, shotgun shell, revving the engine.
While Adam revs the target tire up to highway speeds, Jamie rides shotgun.
I'm good whenever we're clear elsewhere.
He must hit the tire, pump to standard truck pressure of 115 psi, sidewall center.
That's a hit, man. Nicely done. I heard it go up.
Yep.
But that was not the catastrophic failure we wanted.
Jamie was right on the money, hitting the tire dead on, but there sure was no explosion.
That's a neat hole. It's right there.
That's the hole?
Well, that ought to tell us something. I mean, that bullet's that big around. You know, they don't get any bigger than that, and it hit it clean right in the sidewall. It had to hit some of those cables. That was full pressure. It was a perfect hit, so.
The high speed shows the moment of impact as the slug pierces the tire. But Buster's white-knuckle ride is unaffected. To get a tire explosion, you're going to need a plan B.
We have to come up with a new plan, because what we're doing isn't working. These tires are super crazy, incredibly resilient.
Supposing you're silly enough to tailgate a truck, would this dangerous stunt really improve your gas mileage? Tori, Grant, and Carrie's wind tunnel tests have given this myth the thumbs up, in theory.
That is so much more than I expected.
But what about in practice? Time to go full scale.
We should drive at different distances behind the truck. We'll start at 100 feet and move our way up to 2 feet and see if we save fuel as we get closer to the truck.
2 feet seems really dangerous. Who's gonna drive?
I think Grant should do it, because he just had his middle name legally changed to Danger.
Grant Dangery Mahara. I like the sound of that.
The MythBusters also like the look of the impressive beast they've lined up for their full-scale test at the Portland, Oregon headquarters of one of America's leading rig makers, Freightliner.
We've got this new Cascadia Freightliner here. It took 2,500 hours to shape the aerodynamics of this truck to make it the most fuel-efficient truck in the world. It's a brand new truck, and we're anxious to get it out on the track again and help you with that myth.
Test engineer Matt Mark Staller reckons drafting is suicidal, especially considering how many blind spots are on a big rig. But he's agreed to help out under controlled conditions. It's time to sit back with a bottle of grog for a laundry legend.
So guys, what's the myth?
The myth is that in ye olde times, pirates used rum not only for inspiration, but also as a stain remover.
Well, pirates don't strike me as the most fastidious lot, but I suppose if you had blood all over your shirt and then you had shore leave, you'd want to wash it off first.
I guess especially if you had a date.
Pirates had dates?
Pirates and rum go together like cannons and balls. But is it possible that they don't just drink grog, but use it to get those puffy pirate shirts whiter than white?
Well, obviously we're going to need some authentic pirate shirt material, and, we're going to need to stain it with some period-accurate stains.
Blood, sweat, and tar.
Perfect.
We're also obviously gonna need some sort of ye olde rum.
Right, and I think we should have something to compare that to. So I think we should use some ye olde soap as well. I have a secret method that the pirates may have used as a laundry technique, and we should compare all three of those to some modern detergent. So I'll do the staining.
Well, I'll do the cleaning then.
And I guess that leaves me to judge?
Exactly.
So it's time for Adam to get down and dirty.
The plan for this test is to choose 3 most common stains that pirates would encounter. One would be, of course, blood. Another would be, of course, sweat. Pirates were not known for their bathing. And the third would be something you'd find on the ship, which would be pitch or tar. I'm going to make up some 1-foot square samples of this cloth. We're going to put those various stains on it and try and see whether or not rum will actually take those stains out.
Being a pirate's a bit difficult. What with the not bathing, the hot sun, the blood, the sweat. And this rough fabric is very harsh on my skin.
We don't have any pirate shirts from the period, but we do know that while a fancy gentleman of the age might have had a very fine weave shirt made of linen, pirates would have used coarser stuff called lock ramp. The closest we could find is this bleached embroidery fabric, which has a thread count of 40. It's quite rough, but it's perfect for our tests. And I think it's the closest thing we could possibly find.
The first authentic pirate stain is blood, and Adam knows just where to find some.
We have it in the fridge because Jamie likes to have it every day for lunch. No. Has anyone taken my blood out of the fridge?
Next, Adam takes Jamie's lunch and smears the pig's blood over 4 sample sheets.
This is the plight of the pirate laundryman. Next up for our pirate shirts is pitch. Now, blood and sweat are easy choices when it comes to pirate stains, but we wanted to choose something like grime, and we know that pitch was used on pirate boats and period boats of the time. We've used it on plenty of other episodes, and it's very dirty stuff, so that's what we're gonna put on our pirate shirts next. Ta-da! We have 1 stain to go, and I'm gonna have to work for this one.
Yep, Adam has a plan to sweat for science.
I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna get on Jamie's treadmill in my sweat lodge, formerly his mold room, and I'm gonna put on the sweatiest of the sweaty things we have, which is our fire suit. That thing is damn hot inside. I should have no problem producing lots of the correct bodily fluid for this test.
To harvest the bodily fluids, Adam arranges the shirt material for maximum moisture absorption.
It's go time.
Adam leaps onto the treadmill, ready to stain up. But after 15 seconds on his very own wheel of death, he's gasping like an asthmatic hamster.
That says I've only burned 20 calories. What is that about?
Why don't we fast forward to the end of the workout? After all, who wants to watch a grown man ooze sweat stains?
Now we've got 3 kinds of stains here. We got blood, pitch, and sweat. Or as pirates like to refer to it, Saturday night.
It's the MythBusters MacGyver special.
It's time to take the antics of one Angus MacGyver, place him under the MythBusters microscope, and separate fact from fiction. Are you ready?
The fans begged for it, so we're doing it. Mac versus the MythBusters. He's one of the boys' all-time heroes. But there comes a time when the student must challenge the master.
Ask me why I'm swinging this bottle around.
Okay, why are you swinging this bottle around?
This has to do with the very first MacGyver myth we're actually testing, which we're calling sodium jailbreak.
In this episode, Mac needs a hole in a wall in a hurry. Knowing that alkaline metals react violently with water, he packs pure sodium inside a gel cap and drops it in a bottle filled with water. The capsule works like a fuse. By the time it dissolves, Mac and his special new friend have time to duck and cover. It's all very clever, but would it really work? Just to be safe, they wheel in a mobile, see-through laboratory for the small-scale tests.
Well, I pulled out the birds in a truck. It's got the whole clear side. I'm going to park that outside Jamie's shop.
With Jamie scouting locations for the full-scale test, Tori volunteers to help Adam build the test rig. With a pulley, a weight,
Yeah, perfect.
a bowl of water, and a glass vial of metal sodium, Adam hopes to test the explosive potential without bringing the house down. They're using an open bowl of water, not a sealed bottle. So if there's any truth to this at all, we should get the show without the shrapnel.
I'll cut that string, break the glass that the sodium's in, release it into the water, and show us what happens.
Pure sodium is so volatile, it could even react with moisture in the air. So, better safe than singed.
That's why I am so well protected from any kind of splashback, toxicity, anything. Nothing can get inside my suit, and with the face shield on, I think I'm properly protected.
Giant banana number 2 reduces the risk by painting the tray with mineral oil. This gasoline byproduct stops alkali metals from reacting with atmospheric water.
Kind of like a cooking show, except it'll kill you.
Okay, so now it's sitting on the mineral oil. Everyone eyes open, this is for real. It's scary.
The sodium metal cuts just like butter.
Look at that.
Whoa.
That is far out.
So that, oh my gosh.
All right, so
that's just metal.
2 small slices make 1 thin gram, and that's exactly what MacGyver used to blow a hole in a wall.
1 gram of sodium. It looks so innocuous. It's part of table salt, for crying out loud.
Good luck.
I'll see you at the shield.
Be careful.
Hey, Adam's middle name is Careful. Then again, his last name is, well, let's get on with it. They'll do this test twice. First with the vial sitting on top of the water.
So this is sodium surface test in 3, 2, 1.
Wah, wah.
No, it's going to take a second.
There you go.
That was cool. It wasn't a single reaction. It was like a pow, 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 which actually lends credence to the MacGyver clip in which there are 2 bangs, not just 1.
But will this bonsai 4th of July ever be big enough to blow a man-sized hole through solid masonry? The boys repeat the test with a sodium vial immersed in water.
From what I understand from the science, being under the water is probably going to be less of a reaction than being on top of the water.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out.
This is sodium underwater. In 3, 2, 1. That looks like it worked.
Yeah. Whoa! That was a bigger one.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if Adam ever gets tired of being wrong. MacGyver got it right, and that's a good enough result for Jamie to call in the contractors.
Okay, you guys are gonna build a wall. We're gonna blow it up, but do a good job anyway. Let's go. Now, apparently somebody dumped some combustibles down a toilet, you know, bug spray, gasoline. There's a number of different variations on this myth.
At which point, her husband comes into the bathroom, sits down, has a cigarette, puts the cigarette out between his legs into the toilet, and it explodes, burning his sensitive parts.
Good. That sounds like a perfect job for the blast chamber.
First step, down to the local junkyard on the lookout for a toilet. Now, you'd imagine that most toilets are pretty much the same, but Jamie's being fussy.
Well, there's less water in the closet.
This one's too shallow.
The explosive we're going to put in here is heavier than air, so it's going to rest in the bowl. The deeper the bowl, the more explosive force we get, the better the result.
I don't think it really matters. You know, one toilet's probably as good as the other.
This one doesn't have a top.
40 bucks later, Adam and Jamie have their toilet. Weighing in at 180 pounds, this Series 2 crash test dummy retired in 1998 after making quite an impact in his chosen profession.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
What part of the body is
that
this?
That would be the, goes into the torso.
Oh, that's the stomach, okay. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
The next step, Jamie has to build a remote-controlled hand to drop the cigarette.
That's probably the best thing.
Okay.
Adam and Jamie have also had to build their very own blast chamber. It's made from a bulletproof material called Lexan, the same substance used in aircraft windows. Hopefully, it will survive its maiden voyage. While the chamber should easily contain any explosion, the MythBusters have called for backup, just in case.
Have you never heard this myth before?
No, actually I haven't heard this one. Found a few people on the toilet, but never because of a toilet explosion.
Falling off the toilet, a lot of bathroom problems.
Falling off the toilet?
Never actually exploding.
The local fire marshal's on hand to oversee proceedings.
So we've designed this with, you know, it's covered with polycarbonate that won't shatter or go anywhere. It's securely bolted, as well as it's made in 2 separate halves so that if there is any kind of general explosion in there, it'll just open like a flower.
So there's nothing holding it together, in other words.
Combustible number 1.
MythBusters hairspray. It's what I use to keep my dew in line.
How much of this stuff am I supposed to put in there?
The myth said that the can of propellant got stuck open. So not knowing what to do with it, she emptied it out in the toilet. So I'd put a whole bunch in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, when you start to get dizzy, it's probably time to leave.
Okay.
A sensor measures the level of flammable vapor inside the chamber.
Would seem we have some combustible gases in here. We're loaded and ready for ignition. Come on, say something cool.
Release mechanism dropping by.
That's it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Nothing.
Not exactly hair-raising stuff. Well, time to move on to the next test. Bug spray.
All right.
All right.
It's time to move outside the confines of the myth and see if a naked flame can spark some life.
More bug spray. If it doesn't do it on this one, I don't think it's happening.
We still got a few more things to try, though, so be patient.
All right.
All right.
This time, Jamie's giving it both barrels, the sensors squealing.
Okay, here goes. There, go.
Did it go in the toilet?
It did, and there was actually a little poof in the toilet.
Well, hardly 4th of July.
Poof.
We have poof. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Time for butane to step up to the plate.
Did it go in?
It went right in, nothing happened. All right, match. Lighting. Go. There's a poof. Finally.
The myth is looking kind of unlikely at the moment, although, you know, gasoline is the big one. What do you think? Does that work?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Surely, dropping a cigarette into a pool of gasoline will produce some type of reaction.
Let's get a wet towel ready in case the extinguisher fails. Silly housewife, pouring gasoline down the toilet. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Lighting cigarette.
Okay, I'm gonna drop it.
3, 2, 1, go. Nada.
But the pool of liquid simply put the cigarette out. Try again, this time using the naked flame of the match.
Let go.
Okay, so you'd get a shock and a blackened backside, but it's still not the explosive force mentioned in the myth.
So do you think that was enough to blow you off the toilet?
No way. No way.
It wasn't really like a concussive blast. I mean, it didn't, you know, I didn't see the chamber move very much at all.
Finally, the moment the MythBusters have been sweating on. It's time for Solution X, gunpowder.
I saw a movie like this once.
Getting him limp.
Time for our new host to make his MythBusters debut. The fire marshal seems to be getting a little nervous.
How much? I put it all in there.
That's too much.
Half of it?
That's a hell of a lot. Should give you one hell of an effect. Okay, lighting the match.
It left, didn't it?
Uh-oh.
I thought it went out.
No, it didn't.
Well, there is no match on the tinfoil.
Strangely, exactly what was explained as a possibility has occurred.
Well, what do we think? Time 5 minutes or something and then go in?
Reasonable? 6:09.
Sit tight, Buster. Your moment of glory has been slightly delayed.
Chamber is sealed. Are we good to go?
Yep.
Ready. Go.
Well, I tell you what, you know, that
That was great.
It didn't even move him.
No, he didn't even move.
It did blow his pants up, though.
He's still holding the cigarette.
That was fun.
Congratulations.
Not even half a tin of gunpowder could unseat our new star. If anything, it just enhanced his smoldering good looks.
There you go. Yeah, I've had days just like this too.
Another myth busted. Jamie and Adam are flush with success.
This is perfect amount of carnage.
Is gasoline flammable? You'll find out after this.
4, 3, 2. Hey, we made something blow up. We made something blow up.
Adam has improved his Leyden jar. The heavy-duty version will provide a potent spark. And finally, they are getting an ideal blend of fuel and air.
Well, I lost a lot of hair on my arm. How about that? It definitely works. Okay, now I'm afraid.
Adding more gasoline won't guarantee a bigger
You
blast.
watch yourself there, hombre.
The critical mix needs more air.
That's probably it. That's probably all that it takes. You think there's anything left of a fume in there?
Go, go, go.
Okay, here I go.
Let's talk more sparks.
Stop your grinning and grab your linen. Here we go. Whoa! The Heinemann was right.
We now know exactly what kind of concentration of fuel that we have to have for ignition. We know that we can create a spark from static electricity off of fabric, and we know that it is something that we have to be very careful with.
I'm fine. Am I missing an eyebrow? I am missing an eyebrow, aren't I?
You lost a lot of air up there.
You're kidding me.
No. You're all right. It's not gonna, it won't look weird after a day or two. I think it took him about 5 seconds to worry about whether he's gonna look funny for his date.
I have a date tomorrow.
Is it survival more important or sex?
All in the name of science. Okay, that was probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done.
No problem now with the static spark. The mix is right and ignition comes easily. But what about the cell phone? Will it prove to be the cause of gas station fires?
Nada. Niente. Second call. No explosion.
So Bob, have you heard of this myth regarding exploding a gas station by using a cell phone?
Not only did I hear of it, I'm quoted in the myth that says, Mr. Rinkus says, don't use cell phones. They can cause fire at the pump. That email's gone around and people take that literally because they are believing everything they see in emails, unfortunately.
After researching hundreds of gas station fires, Bob Rinkus of the Petroleum Equipment Institute says cell phones are in the clear.
Pure and simple, we don't have any accidents involving a cell phone at a service station. It just doesn't happen.
But a dramatic fire department demonstration clearly shows what can happen when static is involved. People who re-enter the car during refueling face the biggest risk.
They're typically younger people, because older people will go like this to get out of their car. And when they do that, they discharge. So they just simply pop out of the car, not touch anything, not shut the door, not ground themselves, not touch this. They'll take 1, 2 steps. They're wearing neoprene shoes, so they're not discharging, they're not dissipating on the concrete. They touch a piece of metal here. The vapors are coming out of the tank. The air is coming in from outside, so that's 2 parts of the fire triangle, and the third part is a source of ignition, which is the spark. The problem comes is when they overreact, they go, oh my goodness, and they leave a stream of gasoline. They already have a fire, it gets underneath the car, or they could get it on themselves.
With the cell phone myth well and truly busted, they still want to make their own big static bang. So they're back at Fred Stokes Gasoline Museum with the fire department there to monitor safety.
You're gonna pump the whole thing in there.
It's make or break time. So today the guys are using a much higher concentration of gas in a much finer spray.
Okay, that's it.
All right, here we go. Watching for spark.
Despite a heavy saturation of gasoline vapors, still no blast.
This is a pain in the butt. You know, we got the darn thing so it's foggy with gas fumes in there, and no boom. What are you gonna do?
Leyden jar, I am finished with you.
Desperate to get their big bang, the boys decide to use extra juice.
Good spark.
That good?
Yeah.
We're using a spark that's actually a smaller spark in terms of the kilovolts, but it's longer. We're using neon transformer to generate it, but it lasts as long as we want. So I feel totally confident we're gonna get the concussive boom that we want right now.
Okay, Adam, let's get ready.
Come on, okay, here we go. Stand by.
I feel like something's gonna happen this time.
In 3, 2, 1. Wow, I forgot to watch. That was really cool. Right on. Whew. Hey, we got it.
Yeah.
That was a lot of force.
Yes, it was.
That burst apart this 24-foot seam of metal tape.
Well, it's about time, huh?
It's about time. Absolutely right.
Don't be fooled. Gasoline vapors and a strong spark under the right conditions spell danger at the fuel pump.
Bob, what is your recommendation if there is a spark, if there is ignition? What should you do?
If you discharge here and you get a spark, don't be a hero. Don't take your nozzle out. Your gas tank will contain the gasoline. We don't want any gasoline spilling on the forecourt or on the pavement. Stand away and notify the station immediately.
Adam, what do you reckon? Myth busted?
Absolutely. This myth is definitely busted. No cell phone will ever cause a gas station to ignite. Just not going to happen.
I agree.
You got any idea what these are for? Oh, okay. Am I about to feel really, really stupid?
Probably.
Now that's a floor.
Both of them know the risks.
More than 10 feet, you can break limbs. At where we are at about 30 feet, you could easily die falling that high.
The pulley is attached to a crossbar at the top of the scaffold. With 500 pounds in the barrel, plus the counterbalance on the other side, there'll be 1,000 pounds of pressure on the rig.
Where the pulley is actually pulling on the backside of the scaffolding. So in fact, a tremendous amount of force is on two little bolts that are holding the back of the scaffolding up.
The guys are also worried about the strength of the barrels.
Here's perhaps the critical question. When the barrel supposedly falls, it breaks and lets go of its bricks. Do you think these barrels will do that?
Personally, I doubt it.
See, I think they'll fall out on the first try. I think it'll shatter. Well, you want to bet?
Oh no, here we go again.
Come on, I got $1. There we go. You want to drop some bricks?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Wait a second.
The empty barrel is raised into position on the pulley and tied onto the fender of Jamie's truck.
Latching on. Got it.
Buster's quick release hand is attached.
Okay.
And things start to get dangerous. 500 pounds of bricks will be loaded into the barrel.
Everybody keep their eyes on the barrel and keep yourself out of its path.
A lot of creaking going on up here.
Our main pipe is bending a little bit.
If that pipe bends any more, the whole rig could crash.
Back me away from this a little bit.
Jamie's got the last bricks in, but they don't know how long the rig will hold.
The rope's stretched about maybe 5 feet. We're down to about 20 feet.
I'm not even sure actually that the pulley's going to stay on that pipe.
The pipe's bending. We got to go now. Yeah. Okay?
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Barrel didn't fail. All right, I owe you $1. Here you go. No, that's a 5.
I'll take that.
Even with 500 pounds of bricks falling from 20 feet, the barrel stays intact. The barrel is supposed to spill the bricks, fly back up to the pulley, then fall when the rope is released. Instead, Buster is left hanging.
So far, everything seems to be spot on. The amount of weight in the barrel is certainly enough to really launch this guy. It was violent. It made him sling into the barrel. It whipped him around all over the place. And, you know, we just need to get the whole thing timed just right.
It's not only timing. They have to strengthen the rig by putting in a second pipe to share the load.
I think you should just try it again with this barrel. I'm not even sure it'll hold 500 pounds.
Jamie's gambling that it's still pretty strong. In fact, he's taking off some of the steel reinforcing bands.
He's not convinced that even if the bottom falls out, that the bricks would come out because the barrel has got a shape like this, and he thinks the bricks would wedge in. I think he's totally wrong. He's on.
They'll soon know who's right. The rig is holding and ready to go.
3, 2, 1. Oh! Damn barrel! It didn't do squat. What is this? This barrel is too damn strong. You know what?
I was right.
All right, you were right.
This 2,000-year-old technology is proving a tough nut to crack. Unexpectedly, the problem isn't the bottom, but the sides.
You know, I'm starting to believe that the myth didn't happen because of the nature of the taper and these steel bands that are on it. It just doesn't want to let go of those bricks.
A board in the drop zone will make for a rougher landing. But Adam's confidence is shot.
I've been wrong every other time, so I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
They've taken off so many rings, they're not even sure it will hold the brick's weight.
Okay, remember, Adam, it may be bricks everywhere.
So far, so good.
You've got that knife blade of a board down there. I don't know what that's gonna do.
You don't know what it's gonna do? It's gonna wreck the barrel for us. In 5, 4, 3, 2. It worked perfectly.
That was fun. That was really cool. I mean, it went up, it went down, it went up, it went down. It's like dummy getting beaten every which way on all through the whole process. That was hysterical.
Best of all, they finally managed to break the barrel. The board did the trick. But what does it mean for the myth?
If you were dumb enough to load a barrel that had already been modified to fail, I'd see that the sequence of events is definitely possible.
Just the fact that we were able to get what we got is I believe, very strong proof that it was conceivable.
But alas, not true.
Well, in the case of this particular story, it was printed in a 1918 joke book. So it seems that it may have started as the brainchild of one person.
A joke maybe, but Adam and Jamie have proved the barrel of bricks myth is possible. And if it's funny once, twice should be hilarious.
Have a seat there, buddy. Your life's about to get really hard. 3, 2, 1.
Buster is busted. He was designed for testing inside a car with seat belts. Smashing unprotected into the barrel was just too much.
We broke a crash test dummy, man. I think that's a red letter day.
Most of the macabre stories belong to the dark days of medicine, when pronouncing someone dead was a hit or miss kind of science.
So you have the story in the 17th century, Marjorie Elphinstone of Scotland gets actually buried. A few hours later, at nighttime, robbers come, they dig her up, and they are going to take the jewelry off her when she groans. And they all go running off into the night in terror, and she sits up, walks home, and outlives her husband.
Modern medicine avoids uncertainties of the old days by using 5 different factors to pronounce someone officially dead.
Well, the first thing that we would do is to induce some significant stimuli to see if there's any neurological response. And the way many of us do that is we take something scientific like a car key and we push very hard on the thumb to induce pain. Then we check for a pupillary response, usually using a pen light, and see if the pupils react. Then we would take our stethoscope and we would listen for a heartbeat, and usually while listening we also check for a pulse. And we use the carotid artery, and then finally we would listen over both sides of the chest for any respirations. So if a patient is not breathing, and there's no pulse, and there's evidence that the brain is not functioning, then that's the determination of death.
Yeah.
Are you okay for another 7 minutes there, Heineman?
Feel perfectly fine. It's hot. That's the only thing that I don't like.
Back at the workshop, Jamie's test run in the sealed casket has lasted nearly 50 minutes. His blood level of carbon dioxide peaked at 3%. 4% is getting dangerous. 10% is lethal.
Waking up in a coffin, you know, surprise, I think it would be a pretty scary experience. This stuff is like what gets you. You know, it's all, being in a box is one thing, but you got all the stuff that's supposed to make it real nice and pleasant, and it's actually really kind of creepy, I think.
Many of these stories are relatively recent. You have a man in South Africa in 1993 who is pronounced dead after a car accident. He spends 2 days in some kind of metal casket above ground, at which point he wakes up, and unfortunately he's not very happy apparently because his fiancée won't take him back, believing that he's a zombie come back to get her.
So the next step is to load this up on our forklift, lower it down into our makeshift above ground grave, fill it with earth, and monitor Jamie until he begs for mercy.
The MythBusters are about to defy nature in an attempt to bury Jamie alive.
How you doing? Hey, what the hell are we supposed to do with all this dirt?
So buried alive, huh?
Buried alive. You ever heard about anyone being buried alive?
Well, I've heard of them. You know, I've seen movies, but I've never really actually seen it happen.
Yeah. Stop.
I'm a little apprehensive at the moment. I'm hoping that the box won't collapse, but I think it'll be all right.
His dry run lasted 50 minutes, but now, under real conditions, Jamie will be feeling stress, producing more CO2, reducing his survival time.
Are you comfy?
Ah, yes.
Good deal?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your walkie, you got your mic on, that's your emergency oxygen, you have your pulse oxygen meter here, camera, thermometer, humidity sensor. Are you ready, Jamie?
Farewell, cruel world.
Bye-bye, Heine man.
With Jamie laid out in his casket, Adam gently lowers him into the chamber.
Watch yourself, it's gonna go down.
He's about to undergo a rare ordeal. He will be buried alive. To match a burial as closely as possible, Jamie's temporary grave will be covered with several tons of earth.
I got a fair amount of dirt in here, and it actually crushed the container a little bit.
Roger that. Are you nervous about it? Over.
No, I think I'm fine. It definitely had an effect on the casket, though.
Loading earth on the steel casket is a calculated risk. It's up to Jamie to make the call.
Well, all I got to say is be gentle on those dumps, because I'm worried about the lid slipping off of its sides or something like that.
Jamie, would you like me to come in and check the lid out? Over.
You're not going to be able to tell anything more than I can at this point. I'd say just keep going. I wish I had a light in here.
He's a trooper, man, I'll tell you. Oxygen levels?
Oxygen, he's at 98%.
The medics are watching his vital signs closely. Any indication of acute stress, and he will be exhumed.
I imagine my heart's beating a little faster than it was on the test. Over.
You'd be correct about that. It's at 95 right now, buddy. You are almost officially completely covered now, Jamie.
The casket is getting so warped from the pressure that it's popped up the corners a little bit.
Suddenly, the major worry is the very real possibility of Jamie being crushed inside the metal box.
This thing's really starting to creak, and it's feeling like it's changing its shape.
They decide to halt the Bobcat. They hope the casket can withstand the force pressing from above.
The thing is buckling and changing shape on him. Truly. That's the last one we're doing.
Because I can feel it coming in.
You want out?
Yeah.
Roger that. We're going to get you out. Oh, wow.
It will?
Yeah, it buckled. Here we go.
Just the head. Hey, Jamie.
Hey.
Look at this.
Oh. And he's still alive.
Did it do anything, or is that all my imagination?
No, it definitely was crushing it in.
It was just sitting there going.
Yeah!
Jamie persisted inside the casket for 30 humid minutes, breathing only the available air.
I started to panic a little bit there at the end. I mean, it's pretty scary. I mean, I don't have any particular fear of enclosed spaces at all, and you know, feeling those walls starting to cave in, it really gets you going. As I'm sure my pulse rate will testify.
Here's where your pulse started. And with the point you asked us to get you out, you were off my chart. Your pulse was about 115.
Okay.
Which shows, I mean, because of your pulse, you were using up a lot more oxygen.
So what are the chances of surviving 6 feet under?
I think the myth is sufficiently busted. I don't think it's possible for someone to survive a couple of hours in the panic state of being buried with their coffin crushing and all of that stuff, let alone a couple of days until they're exhumed and found to be alive. That's just patently ridiculous to me.
Well, there you go. Myth busted.
Most coins thrown from the top of the Empire State Building don't get very far. They wind up here, just 5 stories down on the 81st floor. It proves one thing, though. A lot of people have heard the penny myth.
So it would seem that even though the myth is prevalent, people are pretty cavalier about testing it.
Yeah, they do it all the time, and it scares me because if they really thought that their penny was going to kill somebody, what are they thinking?
And it seems penny-related myths have always had plenty of currency.
Pennies have long been associated with luck. In this case, really bad luck, but normally very good luck. If you find a penny, pick it up, and all day you'll have good luck. If you pass up a penny, you'll lose $1. If you find a penny that's heads up, it's particularly good luck, and you should carry it with you as a charm. A bride should always have a penny in her shoe, and following the wedding, she should take that penny and get it made into a piece of jewelry, a pendant or a bracelet or something like that.
Back in the workshop, Jamie's showing off his penny gun. Adam can't hide his approval.
Oh my God. Damn, that is some serious impact there. I mean, are you sure this is 64 miles an hour?
64.4.
Of course, now he wants to have a turn. He also apparently wants to do his own narration.
Adam loads a penny into the lethal penny shooting device.
This time, the penny is launched at a block of asphalt. The penny bounces right off. So the test shows that a coin traveling at terminal velocity cannot penetrate concrete or asphalt. But what about flesh and bone? Remember, the penny myth talks about a penny shattering someone's skull. Enter Norma, Adam's ballistics dummy. Norma's cranium will take the full brunt of a penny traveling at terminal velocity.
Lights. Perfect hit. Lights off. Yep.
The penny broke through the thin layer of ballistics gel, but the skull is intact.
So, you ready to put that to the ultimate test? We've tried it on all the other stuff we've got. Want to try and catch it in your hand?
The penny is leaving an imprint in the concrete when it hits, so, you know, I'm a little hesitant about catching it, actually.
The MythBusters are about to find out what happens when a penny traveling at 64 miles per hour hits skin.
I'll do it.
Okay.
But you got to do it too, otherwise, you know, you're like a wuss.
Okay, you first.
Okay. Still a wuss.
I'll kick your ass.
Penny for your thoughts right about now, Adam.
I'm scared.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Ow! That didn't actually hurt that much. We can try again. Okay.
Looks pretty good. Are we ready? Ready, Adam?
When you are.
Okay, 3, 2.
You hit me in the same exact place. It didn't hurt that much before, but now it really hurts.
Oh, you baby. It looks like it's swelling.
Yeah.
It stings, but there's no bruising or broken skin.
Well, I always enjoyed seeing Adam in pain. I'm not sure what it is.
All right, Heineman, are you ready?
Now, it's Adam's chance for revenge.
Go.
That was totally off.
I felt it on my wrist.
If it hurt, he's hiding it well.
Adam.
And you know how Adam wasn't having a good day? Well,
go ahead, shoot me in the ass. Come on. I can take it. Oh! That hurts. Oh, man. Ouch. Oh.
Well, you said I could.
I did. No, I was prepared for the consequences. Whew. So you made that great gun. We made the pennies go 64 miles an hour. What did we end up with?
Well, it didn't penetrate the asphalt. It didn't penetrate the concrete. It didn't penetrate the skull of the ballistics dummy. And it didn't hurt your butt.
Thank goodness.
I mean, it kind of stung when we hit the bones on our hands. But, you know, the myth's not looking good.
but that doesn't faze the MythBusters. It's time to see how fast a penny has to go before it does serious damage.
Anytime we get to play around with explosives and gunpowder and, you know, cool weapons and things like that, here at MythBusters, we're happy campers.
Adam's modifying a high-powered rifle so that it will expend a penny.
That's not chambering around, I'm just test firing.
The coin will be fired from a special aluminum barrel attached to the rifle like a silencer. The rifle itself will be loaded with a blank round. When it's fired, the expanding gases from the cartridge will explode along the barrel, propelling the coin from the slot with bullet-like speed. It's a bold plan and a potentially deadly one. Jamie's far from convinced.
I would say that the rig is not safe at all. There's a significant chance that there will be an explosion, and either the breech of the rifle will blow out, or what may well be likely is that the whole head of the rifle, the device that Adam has constructed on here, may just shoot off the end of the rifle.
Well, Jamie, take cover, because Adam's taking aim.
All right. Firing. And 3, 2, 1. Well, that seemed to work like a charm.
Look at that imprint. You can clearly see where it hit.
The penny is shot from the slot at almost 3 times the speed of sound.
The high-speed camera result apparently is 3,000 feet per second.
Well, that's like a bullet. That's the speed of a bullet.
The coin still did not end up embedded in the block.
Where's the penny?
This is one penny, however, that has been well and truly spent.
The detail on the face of it is flattened. Work like a charm.
And Jamie's forced to eat his words.
Yeah, congratulations, Adam.
Thank you.
I wouldn't want to get hit by that thing.
1 penny down. 1 to go.
Even at supersonic speed, a penny weighing just 2.5 grams simply doesn't have enough mass to break through concrete or bone. Unlike, say, a real bullet, which in this case is 6.65 millimeters of solid lead. The penny drop myth isn't worth a dime.
Oh man, I hate when that happens. Eliminating all the things that are in the penny's way from just reaching the ground, 64 miles an hour just wasn't enough to cause any kind of damage to a person. And then when we made it go almost 3 times the speed of sound, it still wasn't enough to break the bones.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing I can come up with is if you were looking straight up in the sky and you got hit in the eye, it probably wouldn't be very good for you. But even then, I don't know whether it'd take your eye out.
I think we busted the heck out of this one.
Myth busted.
Yeah.